The restaurant hummed softly with conversation, bathed in the warm glow of golden chandeliers. It had always been her favorite spot, the same place where she once smiled and said, "Every anniversary should feel like this." But tonight wasn't about romance. Tonight was about truth. For months, I'd watched her become someone I barely recognized, guarding her phone like it contained national secrets, working late with the same man again and again, and smiling a little too brightly when she mentioned his name. It took time, patience, and quiet observation, but now I had everything I needed. Every lie, every message, every alibi, all neatly lined up like dominoes waiting to fall. So, I planned this dinner carefully, down to the minute. I arrived 5 minutes late on purpose. She was already there, dressed in deep crimson, trying to look composed but betraying herself with the way she twisted her napkin. Her eyes darted to the entrance every few seconds. She thought I'd come with flowers, maybe an apology for being distant. She had no idea what I was actually bringing, someone who would turn her perfect little illusion to dust. When I finally walked in, conversations paused. Heads turned. I wasn't alone. Walking beside me was a woman in a navy dress, graceful and composed, a woman my wife knew, though she never expected to see her again. As we reached the table, I saw the color drain from her face, her smile faltering midair. "Claire," I said, pulling out a chair with deliberate calm. "Do you recognize your boss's partner?" The woman beside me smiled faintly and extended her hand. "Hello, Claire," she said softly. "It's been a while." Claire's eyes widened in disbelief. Her lips parted, but no words came. For months, she'd been sleeping with her boss, the man she always insisted was just a friend. What she didn't know was that his partner had found out too. And instead of tearing each other apart, she and I had reached out, two people wounded by the same deceit, finding clarity in shared pain. We didn't plan this for revenge. We planned it for truth, the kind that doesn't whisper but cuts clean. This dinner was our conclusion, the final scene in a story of betrayal. Claire's voice broke as she finally managed to speak. I don't understand what's happening." The woman beside me let out a quiet laugh. "Oh, I think you do," she said. "I just wanted to meet the woman who thought she could wreck 2 marriages and walk away untouched." Tears welled in Claire's eyes. "Please," she whispered, trembling. "Not here." I leaned back, arms crossed, voice calm but unyielding. "Here is exactly right. In the open, where truth belongs." The restaurant had gone silent now. Even the server stood motionless. Claire looked at me desperately, her voice shaking. "Please," she begged. "Don't end this. We can fix it. It was a mistake." I watched her for a long moment, not angry anymore, just profoundly tired. "You call it a mistake," I said quietly. "But you made that choice over and over, day after day. Mistakes happen once. What you did, that was a decision." She reached for my hand across the table, but I withdrew it slowly. "You never thought I'd find out, did you?" I asked, my tone sharp but steady. And in that silence, surrounded by murmurs, shattered pride, and the flickering light of chandeliers, the truth finally sat between us, undeniable and absolute. But steady. All those sleepless nights, the hidden hotel bills, the texts you thought no one would find. Did you really believe you could outsmart everyone? Her tears came freely now. "I was foolish," she whispered. "It meant nothing. Please don't end us over this." I glanced at her boss's partner standing nearby, silent, arms folded. "Funny," I said. "That's the same thing his wife said before she tossed him out." The air was so heavy it felt suffocating. She was trembling, realizing there was no escaping this reckoning. No more charm, no more lies. 4 years, she had played her role flawlessly. The perfect wife, the loving partner, the woman others envied. But now, all that polish was gone. She was just a person, raw, terrified, and caught in the fallout of her own actions. "You made me think I was crazy," I said quietly, my voice cutting through the silence. "You called me controlling, jealous, insecure. But the truth is, I only trusted you too much." Her composure finally broke. She hid her face in her hands, sobbing. "Please," she choked out. "You can take everything. Just don't leave me. I looked at her for a long time, the ache inside me dull but steady. Everything. I asked softly. You already gave everything that mattered to someone else. Her crying deepened. The restaurant manager hovered nearby, unsure what to do, until the woman beside me lifted a hand, wordlessly telling him to stay away. Everyone knew this was not a moment to interrupt. I rose slowly, the chair scraping against the floor. I set an envelope on the table, divorce papers, folded cleanly. You always said honesty was attractive, I said. So here's mine. I'm finished. She looked up, her face streaked with tears. Please, she begged. I'll change. I'll fix it. I shook my head. No, Claire. You can't fix a heart you didn't just break. You destroyed it. Then I turned and walked away, the woman beside me following, her heels tapping sharply across the marble floor. Behind us, her sobs echoed faintly, the sound of someone realizing the game she thought she could control was over. Outside, the cold air hit me, crisp and purifying. The woman beside me let out a long breath. You okay? She asked quietly. I nodded. Yeah, I said, meaning it for the first time in years. That night, I didn't look back. I didn't need to. Because sometimes, closure doesn't come from forgiving. It comes from letting the truth stand tall for everyone to see. And as the restaurant door closed behind me, I knew she'd remember that night forever, the moment her lies finally collapsed under their own weight.